Hey guys, here we have a 2022 Salem Hemisphere, model number 310BH. This is a video walkthrough for it. We'll start up front. You have your electric tongue jack, you have up and down, you have a light switch right here if you're hooking up if it's dark. You got your chains, your 7-way for lights and brakes, and then this cable right here is a breakaway switch. Basically an emergency brake. So if this ever came unhooked, that pin would come out of that box and it would lock up your brakes so it's not going way behind you. Then you have dual 12-volt batteries because this has solar panel on it. And then you have your propane tanks right here, and this cover just pulls off. You have access to them. You can take them off to go get them filled. Just like a gas grill, you have your valve to turn it on. And then you have your regulator right here, and there's a little arrow pointing to what tank it's drawing from. And then you can switch it over to draw from the other tank. And then this window right now, it's green. I just turned the tank on. That means there's gas going through. If this tank or whatever tank it's pointing to goes empty, that'll turn red. You can have both tanks on, and then whatever tank goes empty, it'll automatically switch over and start drawing from the other one, but that'll turn red to the tank that is empty. And then there's also this latch right here. You unscrew that, this flips up, and you have access to the tanks to turn them on and off. You have your, that's locked. And you have storage on this side, and there's magnets on the door to hold it open. So you have nice pass-through storage. You have battery disconnect right here. Then you have your solar charger right here. So it'll tell you if it's charging, how many volts it's putting out, and how charged your battery is. Then you have your power cord right here. And then you have a couple cranks up there. The one on the wall is for your stabilizer jacks. They're electric, but if a fuse blows or if they're just not getting power, you still have a way to get them up and down. And then that one on the floor, that's for the front tongue jack. Same thing, if that blows the fuse and you can't get power, you can crank it up and down. All right, moving to the middle, kinda, you have your sewer outlet. So this has 3 gray tanks and a black tank, and then it has a galley tank. But up here you have the 2, or it has 2 gray tanks and a galley tank. But up here you have the 2 gray tanks. So right here, and they're color-coded handles. So your gray tanks are sink and shower. This one will be for your bathroom, and this is for the kitchen sink. And then down here you have the black tank. Black handle, that's your toilet water. You'll leave these valves closed while camping. Then there's a monitor panel inside. Once the tanks read about 2/3 to all the way full, that's when you come out and dump them. Open the black tank first, let that drain out. There is a black tank flush, so you can hook the water up to that and it'll flush out the tank for you. Then you can close it, and then you can open the gray tanks, and that'll flush out your sewer hose for you. And it is all labeled right here. So you have gray tank, black tank. All right. Then you have your water heater right here. This is gas and electric. For the electric, there's a switch right there. It's just a simple on-off switch. For the gas, the switch is inside, and it's electric ignition, so you don't have to come out here and light a pilot. Next to it is where your power cord plugs into. This is a 50 amp unit. So when you go to a campground, that's where the 50 amp hookups, because there's a fireplace and it has 2 air conditioners. So definitely want that. When you're at home, you can plug into adapters to plug into, well, you can plug into an adapter, plug into a 30 amp outlet. You just can't run both air conditioners at once, and just gotta be careful what you're running. And then you can plug into another adapter, plug into a household outlet, which is a 15 or 20 amp. And that basically you can charge your battery and get your fridge cold and turn your lights and clean it and whatnot. Just can't run your water heater or your air conditioners off the household outlet. All right, then you have your slide rooms. In between the slide rooms is the galley tank, which is just another gray tank, and that will be for the outside sink. All right. Moving to the back, you got your spare tire. You got the ladder to access the roof. This is prepped for a backup camera. You have outside shower, just hot and cold water. Then you have your water hookups, and it's labeled, and you want to be careful of what you hook up to because they all look the same. So this one down here is your city water, and that's when you go to a campground or a place that has water hookups. You'll have direct water to all your faucets. Make sure you have a pressure regulator hooked up to it, and it's labeled right there. This one over here is your freshwater connection. So your freshwater tank, this is where you fill it. It's a portable water tank, so if you're going on a long trip and you might stop at a rest stop for the night, or if you're going dry camping without any water hookups, you have water on board. And then this is the black tank flush I was telling you about. So you can hook the hose up to here and it'll flush out the tank for you and clean the sensors. When using that, definitely have that valve for the black tank open, because if you get carried away and it fills up, the only place to go is through the vent on the roof or out through the toilet, and you don't want that mess. And it's also labeled right here, tank flush. Then you have cable hookups right here and satellite hookup, if you have a dish satellite. You have a bumper right here, and these caps come off and you can store your sewer hose there. This switch right here is for your stabilizer jacks, so you'll get leveled first and unhooked. Once you're leveled, you just press extend and it'll go down. Just extend and then retract. You'll hit that switch. Once it touches the ground, you'll kind of hear the motor wind down a little bit. You just want a little pressure on it. You don't want to try and pick it up because it will bend those jacks. All right, this big door right here, kind of hard to see right with the camera, but this is your outside kitchen, and you got a couple locks, and then you also have a key lock here. And these is on struts, so it stays open, and you got nice little coverage. If it's raining like it is now, it'll stay dry. So you got an outside fridge, the sink, and then you got the griddle, and then this hose is a quick connect hose. So this end will connect to there, and then right under there, it's pretty far away, is a quick connect right there. So that's where the other end of the hose will go. And then you got counter space and cabinets, bottle opener, USB ports, outlet. And then these lights are kind of silly what they did, but they're push button. If you're short like me, you have to be on your tippy toes, but just little push button lights. Alright, next to it you have the exhaust for the furnace. Just make sure nothing's in the way of that and don't touch it while using it. That gets pretty hot. Alright, the other slide room, and this has an awning on it. Then you have outlet and cable hookup, so you can have a TV out here, and the TV inside does have the same mount, so you can slide it up and slide it in here. And then you have a hook to leash your dog to, if you have one. Switch for the front stabilizer jacks, and the other side of the storage compartment. And you do have a light right here, and then this light switch is for the front LED lights. Alright, turn that off. And these are they're slam locks is what they call them, so you can just let it go and it'll shut. Alright, you do have a couple outside speakers and your other awning right here. Then we'll go inside. So you have the more ride step above steps right here, and these just fold up and it locks in place, and then you have this latch to unlock it, and you can fold them down. On each leg there's a little trigger to adjust the length of the legs, because sometimes you're not always on a level spot, so you have to adjust it. You just want this sitting level, flush on the door sill. That way the door will open and close. All right, walking in straight ahead is your control center. You have your monitor panel up here, so you just push each button, it'll light up telling you how full your batteries are, or how full your tanks are and how charged your battery is. All right, then you have water pump switch if you're using the freshwater tank. Then you have the water heater switch, that's for the gas. This light will come on. Once it's lit, that light will go out. If it doesn't light, that'll stay on. This unit is prepped with tank heaters, so if you're camping or using this when it's kind of getting to that freezing point, you can turn that on. That way the tanks won't freeze. Then you have light switches, so you have LED lights above the slide rooms. That one is the awning light. And then this one is for those lights right there. And then this light is just a push button one. Well, they're all push button. But this one just doesn't work off a switch, and same with this one. Alright. Then you have the awning. This will be for the main one. These awnings don't stop on their own, so when you're rolling it out, you'll have to watch it. There'll be a valance that'll fold down, and you'll be able to see the bare tube. Once you see that, just let off the switch and it's all the way out. And then on each arm, you can adjust the pitch. So if it's sprinkling, the water will run off. But if it's downpouring or really windy out, just make sure the awnings are in. That way no damage is caused. So that's the awning above the door, and then this is the awning on the slide out. Then you have your 3 slide out switches. This one will be for the bunk bed or the bunk house slide. You just press and hold in and out until it makes a clicking sound, and then it's all the way in and out. So that's bunk. This one is for your dinette and theater seating one. And then this switch is for your kitchen slide. Alright, we'll go to the bedroom first. So walking in, there's that big glass window up front. And as you saw outside, it's tinted so no one can see in, but there is also a shade on it. Then you have your light switch. You do have cable hookup and a TV backer, so you can mount a TV in here. You got wardrobe spots on each side, and then there's little cubbies with outlets on each side, and then storage above and lights above your head. And then the bed also lifts up, and you got some storage underneath. That's where that spare tire cover was. And then you have your closet, and this does have washer and dryer hookups, and a little light and a rod to hang stuff. Alright. And behind this door, you have your bathroom. On the left of the wall, you have your light switch. Then you have your sink, storage under here. And then behind this panel is your water pump. Then you have your medicine cabinet here. And then you got storage here. Then you have your toilet. It has a little foot flush right there. Then you have your shower. And this curtain you just pull and it will lock in. And then when you go to open it or close it, whatever, you just, well, if you're inside, you'll pull it towards you. And then you just want to keep your hand on it so it doesn't snap back. And then you have a vent with a fan, so that black knob you just twist and the vent will raise. Then you have the switch for the fan. If you're taking a shower, it'll vent out. You have the toilet paper holder there, and then that outlet is the main GFI outlet, so most of the outlets are GFI protected. Alright, then you have your entertainment center with the TV, fireplace, radio, and then this is your converter right here, and this just has all your fuses and breakers. There is a light right here, and then you got outlet and USB ports. Your theater seating with storage for remotes and stuff, and there's also a USB port in it. And these lights are all push button. And then you got your dinette seating. This table will go down, and then you make another bed. Switch for the light over the table. And then you got a little coffee station or whatever you would put here. I'd put a coffee station here. Storage underneath and storage above. And this is prepped for Wi-Fi. So if you wanted to get a Wi-Fi router, you just undo that, and then all the wires are right there. Alright, you got your kitchen. You got a nice island, deep sink right here. You got storage on the island. On your faucet, you can pull down, and you got a little sprayer. Then you have your pantry right here. Nice. It's actually a big walk-in pantry. It's also probably a closet. You got a coat rack. It does have a motion sensor light. So the switch back here, 1 is always on, and then 2 is the motion sensor. And then you just got a nice little window back in here for some natural lighting, so it's not so dark. Alright, you got your range, cooktop, and your oven. And this does have a sparker right here. So you just turn the knob to the flame, hit the spark, and it lights up. Same for the oven. And then you got light switch. And then this folds up. And after you're cooking, make sure everything is cooled all the way before putting the cover back on, because it's glass. If the burners are still hot, it will shatter it. Then you got your vent fan and light, household microwave, a bunch of storage around here. Then your fridge is right here, and you have a little lock for travel. This is a 12-volt fridge. Right now it's off because I'm not plugged in. But this button right here, you'll press and hold it until it lights up, and then it'll turn on, and then you just press it once and you can set the temperature, and then press and hold it until the lights go off, and it's like this, and then it's off. If you're not using the camper and you're not able to be plugged in, definitely make sure you turn the battery disconnect off so it doesn't kill your battery. And then you get your freezer control right there. Then you have your thermostat. So this big button is your mode selector. So you got your fan, high and low, cool, high and low. Then you have auto, so it'll turn off once it gets to that temperature. And then you have heat for the furnace, and then you have off. Arrows for temperature control. And last but not least, you have the bunk house. So you got your light switch right here. To the left, you have the bunk up there, and then you have the entertainment center with storage and a drawer. There is a handle right here because this is basically a built-in ladder. So this is thicker, so the kids can climb up there. And then up there is where the TV hookup is. And then you got outlets and USB ports. And then you got the other bunk bed, which is in the up position right now, but there's little locks on each side, and then it'll sit on that. Then you got a little couch, and that will also fold out into another bed, so you basically have 3 bunk beds in here. And you got another light right here. And then you got your windows with the curtains. So that is everything to do with the 2022 Salem Hemisphere 310BH.